Welcome to the final score presented by TonyBet. Here is your Match Week 2 results in the Canadian Premier League. 2 more home winners. By the way, 4 home winners in the Canadian Premier League last weekend. It took 24 games to have 4 home winners last season. Jeez. We have 6 through Match Week 2. It took until June 3rd last season to reach that total. The final score is presented by TonyBet. Here's a, remember, you can win a $100,000 or a trip to the 2024 Canadian Premier League final by playing TonyBet's Canadian Premier League Predictor. Visit predictor.canpl.ca for more info. We're looking ahead, and we don't have to look too far ahead because the TELUS Canadian Championships for 2024 are upon us. The fixtures get underway on Tuesday night. Cavalry Vancouver FC kicking us off, followed by Toronto FC and Simcoe County Rovers on Wednesday night at BMO Field in Toronto. The Vancouver Whitecaps, they have a bye through the first round of this competition. Vanni Sartini, very confident that his Vancouver Whitecaps can go on and complete the three-peat, winning this tournament 3 years in a row. There's been questions about other Canadian teams coming into the front and center in terms of competing as being Canada's best team. Here is Vanni Sartini trying to knock away the naysayers a few weeks ago when asked about challenges within this country.
I want to say it again because, we showed that we are the best Canadian team, and we've been the best Canadian team for the last 2-3 years. And we needed, unfortunately, I don't know why we need to remind it every time, but it's true. It's by far the truth. And I'm really happy that we did it again. So I hope that also it goes this to our Canadian media, to One Soccer or whatever, just to know it that we are the best and like deservedly so.
So here is the TELUS Canadian Championship bracket. Sartini on the Whitecaps, they are the best. I believe it's, quote, by far. Is he right?
He's right. He's right. This team has so much depth, quality. Also, the two-peat could potentially be a three-peat. They have the strongest team. Fafa, Picault, Krylat coming into the squad as well. I want to say that they're going to the final.
Watching them, and obviously the game was turned on its head with the sending off against the Sounders, but Sam Anakubi was excellent in that game.
He was.
Him and Ali Ahmed, all of a sudden down the flanks, they have some real balance. They have an identity about this team where last season they maybe leaned on Gold and White a little bit too much, KJ. But I think there's some really good balance in this Whitecap side.
Yeah, I like the word balance as well. I'm with you. Look, sometimes you just know when you've got it, and they've got it right now. And I think they've recruited really well. He's right, they are night and day above anybody else in this country at the moment. They're overwhelming favourites. I think they should be the only MLS team who gets a bye, by the way, but that's another story. I'm not sure why you get a bye for reaching a final when 2 teams who won national competitions within Canada could be getting a bye, but that's a different story. So for me, yeah, I think they should be big favourites to get this competition. And to be honest, out of the 3 MLS clubs over the last few years, they've taken it the most serious.
Yeah.
And so you get what you deserve, and that's why Vanni Sartini has that great big tattoo of the Canadian Championship on his arm, and he's got 2 years written underneath it, and he'll be hoping to get another tattoo.
Right. And I feel like this team is built to compete on multiple fronts as well. I think that the CONCACAF Champions Cup was a good learning experience for them again. They're growing into this role as prohibitive favorite, KJ. Sometimes when it's assumed that you might not be able to take advantage, but the fact that this competition is a said priority for this group, and they're built to go on and win it.
Yeah, and we have different things this year, right? So we have a 2-legged quarterfinals, which will be interesting to see which way they go about it. And, and now we have the aforementioned Vancouver Football Club, who we just talked a lot in our big segment about the story of the week, with one opportunity on Tuesday night to challenge what you've just said, right? They want to play the Whitecaps, right? They want to play the Whitecaps, and they want to have a shot at them the way that they're playing right now.
So if it's unanimous, and it's hard to argue that the Whitecaps aren't the best in this country, who's the closest to them? Is it Montreal? Is it Toronto? Is it other Jordan Wilson?
I think it's CF Montreal. I think that the finals last year, Vancouver Whitecaps had CF Montreal's number in ways when I'm watching the match. I always felt as if the Whitecaps were going to come away victors. This season as well, CF Montreal, I'd have to put them at number 2. I could see a finals repeating itself from last season.
I just wish that, my hope is that the the competition is treasured and taken seriously by Major League Soccer teams, and not just taken seriously the moment you lift the trophy and then suddenly you want to claim at the end of the season that you've won something. Vancouver haven't done that, and they deserve everything they can. But they need to take these more seriously. And ultimately, we are seeing a trend in world football where this week we saw the FA Cup abolish replays. We've seen what Major League Soccer teams have done to the US Open Cup, and we need to treasure this revamped tournament that is now consistently getting better every year because of the inclusion of Canadian Premier League teams and League One teams. We need to take it to another level. So my hope is that eventually that these MLS teams will play stronger teams and give it their best, because you alluded to it, the three MLS teams, the money they spend, of course, favourites 1, 2 and 3. The way we saw Forge play today, and every single time you ask that club what their priority is this year, what comes out of their mouth? Canadian champ.
This year's competition, after the first round, home and aways in this competition. So home markets across this country get to experience this national competition. That's very exciting as well. And hey, let's see who can take a step forward in this competition this season. The Canadian Premier League side's much more experienced now in playing this, and let's hope that they rise to the occasion. It all kicks off Cavalry and Vancouver FC on Tuesday night. We're going to be in studio covering each and every match right here on One Soccer. Coming up next week, match week 3 in the Canadian Premier League. Quick turnaround for Cavalry, of course, as well as Vancouver. Vancouver goes Tuesday, Friday. They travel out to York Lions Stadium to take on York United. Halifax home openers, they take on Atletico Ottawa. That's going to be a great fixture. And it's a doubleheader Saturday, Ford and Valor. Each and every game right here on One Soccer. So episode 2 in the books.
It's fun.
For match night. Think they're going to have us back for 3?
It's always a pleasure to sit and talk
Enjoyed myself
football with
thoroughly.
you fellas. Hopefully the fans enjoy it.
Yeah, I think they do. I think it's some real positive feedback. I genuinely think Canada loves us, or most of us. Another really good match week in the Canadian Premier League. Forge seemed to cut above this match week. They beat York United this Sunday. 3-0 was the final. On behalf of Jordan and KJ, I'm Wheels. This has been Match Night, and you've been watching One Soccer.